Hello everyone. Fourth day. Okay, sir. Literary theory and criticism and Indian aesthetic. औचित्य रससिद्ध्यस्य स्थिरं काव्यस्य जीवितम्. You think that why I am speaking this? So let's get started. Auchitya, a poem is a collection of words used to describe idea or emotion in a vivid imaginative style. The Auchitya can be described as an alphabet used to do that. Meaning of Auchitya, according to Kshamendra, Auchitya uh, is the kavyasya jivanam. Auchitya, because of Auchitya, we can feel a ras or emotion, and then the kavya are alive or give us, we can say that the pleasure or emotion which we connect with any literary work which we like it. Auchitya is a Hindi word taken from a Sanskrit. It means justification, property, or decency. Properties can be defined in the context as the details or rules of behavior conventionally considered to be correct, or that which is the correct, appropriate, and fitting. The word Auchitya also contains the Hindi word Uchit, which in the English mean appropriate. The father of Auchitya theory, Kshemendra, he is introduced the Auchitya in his book Auchitya Vichar Charcha. Kshemendra was born in a present-day Kashmir. He is one of the best Sanskrit poets of the 11th century. Kshemendra was the pupil of a famous philosopher and poet Abhinav Gupta, as well as the student of Abhinav Gupta. Famous upbringing meant by the Kshemendra, Ramayana Manjari, Bharat Manjari, and Brihad Katha Manjari. Famous poetic works on Auchitya Vichar Charcha, Kavi Kanth Bharana, and Suvriti Tilika. Auchitya is the soul of the poem by Kshemendra. This is the only theory that accepted by all poets without any argument. Thus, it is also called a theory of coordination because it regulates all the constitutions of the Natya Shastra. To use the elements of the poem such that they deliver essence in their appropriate place is called Auchitya. For example, to use rasa, alankara, riti, etc. Uh, in an appropriate place is Auchitya. The poem should explain or incorporate a rasa whenever needed, else it loses its beauty. Auchitya is that we can see that if Auchitya are not in the poetry, then we not feel that ras, alankar, and other things. According to the Sanskrit or Indian aesthetic, every poet should be believe in Auchitya or appropriate word which poet use in his poetry. Also that similar with poetic structure or appropriate word used by the poet in English literature also. The 27 type of Auchitya by Kshemendra. Subtle meaning of interpretation of the readers can be manipulated easily with the use of the different Auchitya, thereby delivering a more than one message story thought to the reader. Auchitya is a tool of the writer which aids them with their poem according to their will, according to their idea they want to deliver effectively, offensively. Feature of the Auchitya, it is the only element that include guna, dosha, alankara, dhvani, ras, and vakrata. Include both type of the poem. Example, bhava and rupa. It is the independent of the reader's interest. It is the important for the poem as value in our life, that how the poet creates their poetry and which word he use, which catch by readers. They sometimes some thoughts readers can not describe or not. We can see that we in our own thought. We never speak about others, what they think about us, what they criticize uh, us, and that's why we can't able to speak our own feeling. But poet creates the poetry or use their words which we like, that this is my feelings he wrote, this is similar of my life, and this is the auchitya of that poetry or a literary work. According to the rules of property, one of the aims, property is a auchitya, aims of the poetry is to improve the life of a common man, to show what to do and what not to do, and to help a man achieve the goals of life not by a common persuasion or restoring an undesirable action, but by a change in the very attitude of mind. Thus, literature become a means of a moral culture, giving a proper guidance to the individual and the society for their are universally accepted facts. In a prologue to Peter Bell, Wordsworth says, "This is the some line of the prologue, Peter Bell's, and this is the interpretation with Auchitya." In the these prologues, Wordsworth use of that word in a describe to a mountains, valleys, and others, and this is that see in that Auchitya how that words he used to give the message to his readers. In a writing of a poetry, property may be linked to the performance of an orchestra, not the not of all the singers and instrument give out the deliberately unfilled musical rasa. In a poetry, later words, sentence, themes, combination of character, and arrangement of figure of speech, harmonies to create unfilled a piece with all the rasas intact. Therefore, the study of property is based on assumption that if rasa was the life of poetry, property became the life of rasa. We can feel that any literary poetry or song which we like it more, any song which we like it, there are lyrics we like, there are music we like, we feel that ras. But Auchitya is the life of the ras. We see that song or poetry. Ras was a life, but Ras life is Auchitya. The concept of Auchitya was the Sanskrit Alankarika's way of explaining this balance and harmony of the compounds of a poetry among themselves and their relation to its ultimate goal. Conclusion. Emotions are an integral part of humans. Many times words are not sufficient to describe everything. This is where Auchitya comes into the picture, enabling the writers, authors to silently nudge the readers towards the direction they want to us to steer in. How that a reader or a poet use of the Auchitya which feel our thought. Thank you. It was my work cited.
So, Mayuri, my question is, do you find any example of Auchitya in any poems?
I give that example of Wordsworth poetry in my PPT, but I'm not sure this is the poetry or anything. But for your understanding, I am give that any poet seen that mountain in a lines of mountain, or he can see that beautiful lady is sleeping. This is the Auchitya word. We see that this is the mountain, not any lady, but use of that word is that Auchitya. We feel that.
Mayuri, how many type of Ochitya?
27 type of Ochitya and 7 is a major type of Ochitya.